Yo, what's up everybody, welcome to the next tutorial here on Duct Tape Creations. So in today's tutorial I'm showing you how to make a duct tape tissue box, so just like this right here. So it's going to be pretty cool. It's a pretty simple creation to make. Just thought it'd be a cool idea for you guys to know. Okay, so to get started on making your duct tape tissue box, you're just going to make 6 sheets of duct tape. You're going to take 2 of the sheets that you make and make sure the measurements are 4.5 inches in length and 4 inches in width, so almost a perfect square for these. These are going to be the top and bottom. So I've done all these sheets ahead of time just to save time. And then you're going to make 4 sheets right here that are 5 inches in width and 5 inches in length, sorry, and 4 inches in width. And you're going to make 4 of these, and these are going to be for the sides of the tissue box. So it's going to be pretty simple. So do the best you can not to get any sticky sides showing on these sheets, so it does not get stuck to the actual tissue paper. So just keep that in mind. So make all these sheets and we can move on to other steps. Okay, so once you have all those 6 of your sheets done, we can move on to sealing up the sides and bottom of everything to actually start making the box. So to do that, you're just going to need to cut out 4 strips of tape right here. 2 of them are going to be 5 inches long and the other 2 are 4 inches long. And you're going to take those strips here and you're going to cut those in half, so you have these little half strips right here that are just roughly about 1 inch in width. So you're going to do that with the both 4 and 5 inch strips, as you can see here. Pretty simple. Okay. So now you're going to take 2 of your sheets here, one's for the sides, which are the ones that are 5 inches in length and 4 inches in width, and take your 4x4 squares right here. Okay. So you're going to start off with the 4x4 square, and you're just going to take the 4 inch strip right here. Had a little backwards just then. But just going to seal this down right like that. Seal it down, there we go. So you have this bar sticky side showing right off of the actual sheet. So now take one of these strips here just for the side, or a sheet, and just seal it down right there. Okay, and then fold just to get it creased right there. Okay, so now you can see that's going to start forming the box a little bit. So I'm going to do the same thing again on the other side. So take one of your 4 inch strips here, and flip this over to the side where you sealed it up before so it's all even. And just seal this down just like that. Okay. Take another one of these strips here, or sheets I mean to say, sorry. And just seal this down right like that. So pretty cool. You can really start seeing the box is going to be forming. Let me get on camera there real quick. So as you can see, it's going to be right in place. Okay, so now for this, it's going to be a little bit tricky to get the sides matched up, but you should be able to do it. Okay, so now you're going to take one of your 5 inch strips right here and stick it right along the side of one of these sheets that go up the side, right like that. Okay, so now you're going to fold in the other side and meet it up right at the corner. So just like that, and fold this over, meeting and sealing down on the other side. Just take your hand and hold it down on both sides and just crease it down. So just like that, so now you can see one corner of the entire box is being formed. So once you have that done, you can do the same with the other side. So just replicate the entire process on these 2 sides right here, and then we can move on to doing the top. Now the top's going to be a little bit different, so just keep that in mind and don't do that just yet. So let's move on. Alright, so once you have all the sheets sealed up, it should look something just like this with the hollow inside and everything sealed up on the sides. Everything should look even. And there shouldn't be too much sticky side showing on the inside, so that's pretty cool. Okay, so now the next step we're going to do is putting on the top of this. Now, I told you to hold off on putting this up there just yet, because we're going to do some stuff special with this. And the one thing you got to do is cut the hole out of the center of this so you can actually grab the tissue out of this. So to do that, you can just take one of these little pop-out pieces that come out of the top of the tissue box, or you can freehand the oval shape onto this yourself. But if you don't want to freehand it, or you're not good at making, I'm not good at freehanding, which I am not. You can just get one of these from an old tissue box or something, or save one from a tissue box, and just take a pen and mark it right onto the duct tape. So right around like this. Come along to the other side and do the same thing. Okay, so there we go. So now usually some of them have like these little indents right here, these little swoops that come in off of the actual cardboard pieces you can see. So right there you can just eyeball it and just curve it around that to make the finished oval. So that's pretty simple. So just bring that over just like that. Okay, so now what you're going to do is you're going to take an X-Acto knife and just going to cut right in at any point and just cut right around here. It's not going to be a little bit tough if your blade is dull, because you're cutting through like about 2 layers of duct tape here, occasionally 3 layers, depending on where the tape meets when you've overlapped it. So just keep that in mind, and if it doesn't go through the first time, just keep cutting it until you get a clean cut off of it, and then you should be fine. Okay, so I cut that around, and my blade's fairly new, but fairly dull. I've been using it a lot, so just gotta do a few once-overs here. Okay, so I think I got it. There we go. Should all pop out right now. A few pieces left over. Okay, there we go. Got it. So now it's just looking just like this right here. So now these parts right here are going to be very weak. So just to acknowledge that. Okay. So now before you actually want to put this on the top here, there's one more thing you want to do. Let's just get one of these Ziploc or plastic bags. That's all you're going to need here. So I actually meant to cut this off ahead of time, but I can show you on camera here what you're going to do. So you're going to just take a pair of scissors right here and come in on the side and cut right along that. So just like that, separating it from the sealing pieces. You can come over to the other side and do the exact same thing. So just like that there. Okay. Now you can scratch the scissors real quick and just take an X-Acto knife or hobby knife, whatever you want to call it. Okay. And do the same thing, cutting off the little sealing piece. So hold it in place and just cut that right off. Okay. So that's all you need for that. You can just scrap the rest of those pieces there. So now that is going to be the plastic piece that you use right in the center of this hole, so it holds on to the actual tissue paper. Okay, so I actually meant to cut out some strips here, but I can do that right now. No big deal. Okay, you don't need too much, just a few little strips here. Okay, so I'm just going to cut out about 2 strips of tape that are roughly around 3 inches long. That's pretty much all you're going to need for this. Okay. So there we go. And I'm just going to cut those in half as well. So you're going to have 4 of these little 1-inch strips in total. That's all you're going to need. Okay, so now you're just going to make sure this fits in there properly. And you don't need all this, so you can just trim off just a little bit. And make sure it just fits like right inside this. Don't overlap it on anything. So sorry if it's too hard to see the plastic on the cutting mat since it's so clear. Okay, so now we're going to flip this over here and make sure this is aligned onto it. So there we go. And take one of your strips here and stick it down on one side of the plastic and onto the sheet and seal it down. And do the same thing on this side right here. See if I can get that in place. Just like that. There we go. And that should seal it down on that side as well. And now you're going to do the same thing over here. And this is going to effectively seal it down. And I have a little bit of overlap on both sides, so I'm just going to take my scissors here real quick and trim that off. Not too big a deal. There we go. And the same thing on this side if you have the overlap of the plastic. Okay, so now you're going to do the same. And I'm just going to finish off sealing up the other sides. So take one of your strips and seal it down right there. And this also kind of reinforces the sides of the actual sheet right there. So just going to trim off a little bit here so it doesn't overlap onto the actual center hole. Okay, so fold that over right there. Very good. Now you can do the same thing on the other side, just flip that over and seal them down so that it doesn't affect anything. Or you can trim it off if you want. And we're just going to place the last one on this side here. And just trim it off here so it doesn't overlap over top of the hole too much. So there we go. And seal this down as well. So there we go. So now you have the top of the actual tissue box there. So now you can just take your X-Acto knife and you're just going to cut right in the center of this. So just like that, so it opens up a little bit. So you pretty much have the top of a normal tissue box, which is pretty cool. So now before you actually put this on there, you're going to need to actually get the tissues out of the tissue box, and you're just going to slide those right in to here, and that should work out just fine if you got the measurements right. So there we go, they fit right inside there. Very cool. And so now you're just going to mess with this and seal it up, seal this up just like you did the bottom with the 4-inch strips on each side. So do that, and that's going to be your duct tape tissue box. Alright, so once you finish sealing up the sides and doing all the steps there, it should look something just like this. All sealed up, looks pretty much just like a tissue box, just made out of duct tape. And it works pretty well, it just slides right out of there. So one thing I found is you're going to take a few of the tissues off of that roll before you put it into the box. Because when you first put it in, it's a little bit too big for the entire thing, and it kind of stretches out the box a little bit, or it stretches this out, or stretches the duct tape sheets out, so it's kind of hard to pull them out. So just put it in there and pull a few out until it works properly, or take a few off of the roll before you actually put it inside the box. So that's pretty cool. So sorry if I was like rambling on during the part of doing all the plastic parts right up here. I wasn't exactly sure how to explain it. Hopefully you guys could follow it. Yeah, so pretty cool creation to make here. So you can pretty much decorate this any way you want, make it any color you want. Pretty awesome. So yeah, that's pretty much it for this tutorial. Really hope you enjoyed it. And I'll catch you next Monday for the next video of time-lapse week, and the next tutorial as well next Friday. So yeah, so thanks for watching. As I always say, just enjoy the one that is duct tape.